Okay, so today I'll be talking about stablecoins, kind of giving some history about what they are. Then I'll talk about some of the major companies that does them. I'll talk about maybe some ways that you can use them, and also maybe some things to look out for. So hopefully it's a helpful video. See you in a second. So stablecoins, a cup of coffee. Oh yes. Okay, stablecoins. To begin, this is what I wanted to show you, that there's many different types of stablecoins. The most common one that you're going to see a lot is USDT. Another one that's not on this list is USDC. Those two are kind of the most popular stablecoins right now. And the thing we should start with is that there's different types of stablecoins. Okay, so let's zoom in on this a little bit. So essentially, a stablecoin is a one-to-one for the dollar. Let me show you this picture really quickly. Where is it? Here. So it's just a one-to-one for the dollar, right? So you can see that the BitUSD is equal to $1. You can see that the DAI is equal to $1. So what that means is if I have one stablecoin, I have $1. This could be pegged to anything. It could be pegged to gold. So let me go back a little bit. So here is, whoa, zoomed in. Here's gold, right? So one coin is equal to one gold. In this situation is 1 ounce of gold. I think 1 ounce. But it's pegged. Okay, so 1 for 1. So today we're just going to focus on the US dollar. So tether. 1 tether is equal to $1. And of course you can cut that into pieces, right? So like half of a tether is equal to half of a dollar. Okay, so that's what this is saying, is that the dollar is equal to the coin. There's a lot of information here. The first thing, it has a stable value. So if I go back to this image, you can see it's pretty stable. This one has a little bit of a fluctuation, but it's not fluctuating much. Like it goes from $1 to something like $1.10 or maybe 90 cents. So this is fluctuating. You can see that the DAI is even more stable. It's fluctuating only a tiny bit, like maybe 1 cent. So yes, it has stable value. I'm going to talk about the pros at the end of this video, so let's move on to this. There's 3 types, and today I'm going to mainly talk about collateralized. Collateralized means there's something backing it up. So I have $1 here, so one stable coin here is backed up by one something. Okay, but there's other types. Algorithmic is it's balanced with math. Okay, and so we're going to talk about a very recent kind of horrific example that used this. Like I said, today we're focused on collateralized because that's the most common. It's kind of the proven one, the one that works the best. But there's other types. And like I showed you this before, these are an example of 2 different types. These are both collateralized. The BitUSD is collateralized with actual dollars. Someone has dollars in a bank somewhere. And the DAI is collateralized with another type of asset, in this situation, Ethereum. And if that's confusing, don't worry. I'm going to explain it right now. Let's focus on this first example, BitUSD. So most of these here are using the BitUSD strategy, where I have $1 in my company, and so I make 1 USDT, or I have $1 in my company and I make 1 BitUSD. Okay, so I actually physically have it, or I have a bank account, and I make the crypto that's matching and equal to that. Okay, so that's what this text here is saying. Here you go. Smart coins always have 100% or more of its value backed by shares, and they can be redeemed anytime. So like I said, in this situation, they either have 1 for 1, like $1, 1 coin, or they have more, maybe $2, 1 coin, in case there's some sort of like, I don't know, market crash or something like that. A lot of these allow people to let's see, where is it? Oh, here, this was looking for. Can be redeemed at any time. So people don't do this, really. Like, I've never done it. But technically, if I had 1 of these BitUSDs, I could go into their company office. I will trade them that 1 BitUSD, and they'll give me the physical dollar. So technically, that is possible. Like I said, with there's also these other types with gold, right? PaxG is actually one of my favorite cryptos. It's a stable gold coin, which means if I have 1 of these, I can go into their office and actually get the physical gold. In theory, people don't really do this, but they have the promise that they should do this, right? If there's no promise, then there's no value. So technically, you can do that. You can go in and exchange it. So that's the first type, right? Like I said, today we're talking about these collateralized stablecoins. There's really 2 main types of these, okay? So that's the first type of collateralized stablecoin. Is where I have a company I have the dollars in the company, and one for one. Okay, but there's another type, and it is called, let's see, it doesn't show here, but it's called a collateralized debt. Okay, so this, we're talking about DAI, right? And remember, when I go back to the chart, actually DAI was more stable. The reason why this is one for one is maybe like everyone goes into the bank and I want all of my money right away. Bah, 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 give me the dollars. Change. Well, then that's going to decrease the value of this relative to the dollar. So this is stable, but really it depends on how much money they have in their bank, right? If they have only one for one and someone come and takes all the supply, well, then they need to get more, right? So then there's more demand. DAI is actually more stable, and I'll tell you why, right? DAI is, it is not backed by the US dollar, but is collateralized debt. Okay, so that sounds a little bit confusing. I'll try to explain it in a pretty simple way. But really what that means is I'm taking a loan, and I'm giving you something like, let's see, what is it? For example, if I want to buy a house, I will give you my car, you give me the money, I buy the house. Over time, I pay back that debt, and you give me the car back. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening here. I have a picture. Again, I know it's a little bit confusing. Oops. But we will go through it really quickly. So here's the starting point, right? Like, say if I want to have $1,000, right? Well, I give you this ETH, which is worth 2,000. You give me the 1,000, okay? And then when I give you back the 1,000, you give me back this ETH. Okay, so that's what's happening here, right? So I borrow this. I give you the 1 ETH. You give me the 1,000. I go and use that 1,000 to do whatever I want. And then when I'm ready, I give you 1,000 plus a little bit, and you give me that 1 ETH left. Okay, so you can see 1 ETH in, 1 ETH out. 1,000 DAI out, 1,020 in. Right, so this 20 is the interest. This is how the company makes some money. This is making their profit. Okay, so that part's pretty simple, right? I give you 1 ETH, you give me 1,000 DAI. Okay, and it comes back. So the question might be is like, why would you do this, right? If you already have 1 ETH, which is worth 2,000, why don't you just sell that and use that money? Well, people often use this system. The reason why it works is because they believe that the value of ETH is going to change. And so then they can speculate on this, right? So if I give you 1 ETH and you give me 1,000, I can buy more ETH, right? I can use this money to buy more. And then the price increases and I give you back that $1,000, you give me back that 1 ETH, and I'm actually ahead because I'm using this to buy something that's going to increase in value. Okay, so they're speculating. But this can also go in reverse, and that's what it's showing here, right? Maybe I think ETH is going to go up, but actually goes down. Okay, well, you're still going to get 1 ETH back, but that's actually less than what the $1,000 is. Okay, so this goes both ways. So again, but the point of this is that it's making this DAI equal to $1, and they're both doing the same thing, right? This one is $1, this one is $1. Different ways to keep this value in the system. Okay, so this one is they're both collateralized. This one is collateralized by actual US dollars. This one's collateralized by some other asset like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Okay, so that's a little bit confusing. I'll backtrack a little bit. So we talked about these collateralized stablecoins. What I will do right now is show you one example. We're not going to show you the example, but I will give you one historical example of an algorithmic stablecoin. Okay, and so that is this. I don't know if you know, but Luna, right? Luna was very famous in 2022 because something happened to it. Okay, so you can see that Luna is going up, it's going up, it's going up, and then boom, okay, it goes all the way down. Actually, this is not the, what is the Luna coin? Let me find USDT. Sorry, this is a bad example. Let's see, Luna stable coin. So essentially what happened is the Luna coin crashed. Let's see, UST, there we go. UST chart, Luna. So what happened is that these guys were doing an algorithmic stablecoin. Here, this is what I was looking for, something like this. Okay. Zoom out. Okay, so UST. Okay, so you can see this was stable at $1. It was stable, just like all the others, right? Just like these, stable. And then something happened. Right? It went down. So the question is, why is that happening? Okay, well, the value of this stablecoin was connected to another token called Luna. Luna's value crashed, which means they're unable to keep this price at $1 and it crashed. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details of this, but this is an example of an algorithmic stablecoin. They're using kind of the math within the system to keep the value up. And this is dangerous because they actually don't have anything they're holding. All they're doing is they're trading like reputation. Like people believe that this will still maintain value, and so this gives this value. Okay, but in some situations that reputation can be destroyed, which means the value of the US dollar stablecoin is destroyed at the same time. So that's something to think about if you're going to be buying stablecoins. It's usually best to use collateralized stablecoins like USDT, which is Tether, DAI, USDC, right? That's the one from Circle. So yeah, what else do I have here? I just want to wrap this up a little bit. Oh, okay, and the final thing I want to talk about is, okay, well, why not just use Ethereum? Why not just use Bitcoin? Well, stablecoins provide a lot of value, right? So day-to-day currency. I often, for example, if I'm going to do some work for a client, they usually pay me in a stablecoin because it's much easier to measure that, right? I say, okay, you need to pay me $1,000 because in my head I know, okay, $1,000 I can pay my rent or something like that. If I say, oh, you're going to pay me in ETH, it's a lot harder for me to kind of know if I can pay my rent with that, because ETH goes up and down. Maybe they give me the 1,000 and then I use it to buy ETH. Okay, fine, that's my choice. But usually, oftentimes in the world of crypto, you get paid in stablecoins because it's much easier to measure that. So yeah, day-to-day currency, I can use it to pay my rent. Maybe I change it into dollars. This is something that I live in Vietnam, right? And so it's hard to move money around. If I have to move money to America, I have to go to the bank, I have to give them paperwork, etc. But in crypto, it's much easier. Just send, done. Person-to-person payments, that's what I just said. Exchanges, right? Like if you're on Binance or Coinbase and you're trying to buy something, sometimes it's easier to buy like Bitcoin over the dollar or something like that. And yes, so for protection as well, like if I'm going to have insurance. So stablecoins, they're a big thing. They're not going away. I'll give you one more thing. It's called a CBDC. There's one last thing I'll say: is central bank digital currency. I believe in the future, countries will make their own cryptocurrencies, and what these will be called is CBDCs. So I think that eventually, right now we have companies that are doing these collateralized and algorithmic stablecoins. These are all companies, but I think in the future there'll be actual countries doing it. Like the US government makes their own stablecoin and they peg it to the value of the dollar. Okay, so that would be called a CBDC. Maybe in the future I can make a video about this, and as you see, she's upset. I can make a video explaining why CBDCs are evil and also maybe the benefits. But that's where I wanted to finish. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any other questions or anything, leave a comment. If you want me to record a topic that I haven't done so far, just let me know in the comments. Thank you. Drink your coffee, trade in crypto, and stay safe. Bye-bye.